Alrighty, so hi friends and welcome to another edition of Ask a Vendor, where I answer your questions about being a big issue vendor. Today's question is how can I get a vendor at my local market or community event, or just in my community in general. The answer to that is, well, I would actually say to begin with, if it's an event, it depends on what it is, because obviously with some events they might not be suitable, whereas others would be. I would also advise to contact the market or event organizer, as again, like the events, it might not necessarily be a suitable event or market. Or they may not necessarily want the big issue there. I would also contact the big issue, because assuming that the event or market would like the big issue there, you'd actually need to contact the big issue to get somebody like a vendor there. And also depends on if there's anyone that sort of lives nearby or would want to do it. However, if you're a business owner or a market owner or event organizer, I would suggest ringing the big issue. Otherwise, from there, the only other things would be that markets, I don't know about events, but markets often have stallholder fees, and some markets also have fees for like a percentage of your sales. The big issue may not necessarily would need to pay the fees, and they may, as is their right, to refuse to pay that. And also with the fees, like in terms of like percentage of sales, a lot of big issue vendors are very sort of with like low income, so the money that they get from the sales isn't much anyway, and that's also going to be an issue. There's also some markets, if not all markets, require an application, which is, I guess, standard procedure. But that would include photos of the potential vendor's setup. And the only issue with that I can think of is that each vendor's setup is different. So mine might be different to, say, David's, who works at H&M, who's different to, I don't know, Mariam, who works at Art Centre, for example. Positively, though, the big issue does have public liability insurance, so we do have that available in case something does happen to us vendors. But as I said, it's just the issues of things like fees that the big issue may refuse to pay, and getting vendors that live nearby or are willing to travel. Hope that answers the question. If you have a question that you'd like to ask the big issue, or ask me about the big issue, you can leave your comment on any video on my channel, or you could email me directly at vendorrebecca222@gmail.com. Hope to see you around sometime.